3, 2.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. This is your friendly neighborhood gamer, Super Dope here, and I am joined by. Oh, we got the echo. Hold up. This is your friendly neighborhood. Looks like the sound is coming through. That's good. I'm joined by my fellow teammate and caster, Robo Creator. Say what's up.
What's up, Robo?
And we have VRespawn versus Alpha Derezz about to take place here on.
Yeah, both of these teams are both giants, both in the esport realm and the ECFL. They're both really good teams, and they've both been popping off recently. Just half an hour ago, we saw Coda Sleuth, Foo's World, and Duel Game as Alpha Derezz just play Sovereign's team. And while it was a close match, they did win, so that was fun to see. And I'm happy to see what Alpha Derezz will do today.
Yeah, we're both teams are undefeated, so this is literally the match to decide who is the undefeated champion so far in Echo Combat Flamingo League. So this is definitely an exciting match already off the bat. We'll see which team takes it. And
yeah,
with
so
that,
we're seeing both teams go out.
Yep,
wow.
Kaznas here sets up early on top with the Comet, tries to get in some early damage here.
We see some flanking over there by the Nova stack, Cod's Worthless and Vex. Kaz is gonna take out Coda with Vex taking out Whirl, but Duel's gonna refrag for Lev.
Yep, and Duel takes out Vex and Levity there, so it looks like Alpha Derezz tying it up so far as Duel Game goes down. So again, VRespawn still on top here, and it might just go in their favor. Fooster with a lot of health in the tunnel gets trapped out though. Managed to take Vid with him, and they're both not going to be there for that initial fight once the point unlocks. So a 3v3 here, and VRespawn first to cap.
Point contested.
We're seeing Vex push up right there. We're seeing some hiding a foot. Oh, and we see Vex going up there, and he manages to grab Lev finishes off Coda's kill. We're seeing a lot of heals come out. Oh, VRespawn has popped 2 heals at once, and their threat scan.
VRespawn in great positioning there, trapping out Whirl on the point and singling him out. Now they're pushing W and cleaning up the rest of Alpha D, and a very good hold for VRespawn so far. Yeah,
so far VRespawn again is being dominant like they usually are on Dyson. We see Kaz pushing up, probably with Phase. Yeah, he has Phase, so he's being super aggressive, so he can do some weird stuff and get away with it.
Taking up all that space, forcing Alpha D to go from the tunnels. One person still pinned down there in the front, but 3 in the tunnels. They managed to push in. Kaz finally rotates back, although Vidman is already down. Alpha D pushing it hard there. They go under the point, but a nice dep from Vex takes out a couple. And Levity is able to finish off the rest. And just Coda there, running for his life. And another
he's able to crab like an absolute madman.
Yeah, he survives. He gets back to his team. Nice.
That's going to burn later tonight. Holy crap. So that was a poor debt usage by Coda, though. He wasted his debt and had no follow-up on it. We see Alpha Derezz is getting super low on this 2v1, but Vex is going to get flanked and murdered. Or Fooz is going to kill Levity right there, and Duel's going to finish off Vid for this 2v4.
A great offensive push here by Alpha D, just spilling out onto the point here, and they managed to take down a couple kills. And they force Kaznas to retreat, and their first time taking the point here on Dyson. But Kaz with a nice revenge pick on Duel Game there as he runs away, and still alive with a good amount of health. He manages to get away.
Yeah, we see VRespawn just dunking straight in with Levity going, just taking out Fooz instantly, and Kaz drops Whirl as well. So again, Coda's the last of his line, fleeing for his life. He's got those fast turns. He's got those fast turns, dude. Arms.
So VRespawn's still in great position here. Yeah.
Yeah. Alpha Derezz has to make something happen now, otherwise, because they're losing the point 93%. You're getting there at the last minute.
Point contested.
Oh.
Some trading comes out. Vex picks out a couple, though. Some great DPS going down on the point, but Alpha D managed to flip it in the mess here. Although it's a 3v2, it's still not looking too good for them. VRespawn with the insta-heals coming in clutch. Kaznas going down low, though, and eventually eliminated. A nice shot by Duel Game. Although VRespawn has the man advantage here. They managed to take out Coda and Duel Game, although the respawns come in real quick from the team without the point, and another Duel breaks out on the point here. And as we say that, Duel goes down, and
Oh,
Will
Alpha
goes
Deer's
down.
almost C9'd himself. They still have a chance to pull this back. Oh, let's see. Fuz is on his own and it looked like he had a headset crash or something. But when they flipped the point, when Alpha Deer's flipped the point, I think VRespawn actually gave it to them.
Yeah, it was a
to
little too
try
early.
and-
They didn't win out the fight yet. The fight was just starting, and they flipped the point. So they still had the 3-man advantage. They managed to get the picks, and then they took way longer to get back since they had the point.
Yeah, unfortunately, Alpha Deer's didn't really have a choice because if they didn't take that point and let them have it, they would have lost that match. So they lost that round anyway. Their only hope was to flip that point, keep it long enough, and get their guys back in. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get the picks that they needed to really continue that fight.
Yep, round 2 underway
see
here as
that.
VRespawn boosting early onto the blue team spawn here. And Alpha Derezz just kind of going right past them. Although Duel Game finally turns around. Whirl goes down in the background though. Vidman in good positioning here, just kind of chipping away with the Meteor onto the Ob.
Yeah, we're seeing a 1-for-1 trade right here. Oh, and now finally VRespawn has the upper hand.
Oh,
and
nice
now they've
shot
taken
from
out
Kaz
3.
onto Fuz. Kaz is popping off here with the Comet. And manages to take down Duel Game as well.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. I thought Kaz was going to play more Meteor because he's really been enjoying the new nerf to it. But I guess he's decided that Comet's the way to go for this map. And he's doing a really good job of using it.
He is
You
definitely
see going
a
to his
Comet main
best
though,
position there.
through and through. And this is definitely a strong map for the Comet.
Point captured.
And VRespawn will capture the point first. And it looks like Vex
Oh, we're gonna
playing
see-
really aggressive here. Manages to get a pick. Although he does still go down. So if Alpha D capitalizes on this long respawn that Vex is going to have here, they can put some
Oh,
ground
I
on the point,
missed
although
insta-heal.
Levity
Bad. Oh, and
running for
Lev
his
gets,
life gets taken down.
destroyed for that missed insta-heal. And Kaz gets dropped. And Vidman's left on his own, fleeing for his life. Whether he gets away is something to be seen. It doesn't look like he's gonna, though.
And Alpha D honing in on him here. Oh man, Vidman gets deleted by 4 members of Alpha Derezz, and Vex over
Yeah,
here.
they left that point just to get him, which
Yeah.
is a great stagger on their part. Because sure, they lost a bit of percentage off that, but they also got a massive pick. And we
that
see
nice
Alpha Derezz
pirouette
is
by
super low
Duel
here
Game.
again.
Oh, but he goes down by Kaz.
Coda taking 2 for himself. Both Nova mains, Levity and Vex, go down to his
Those
meteor.
are big picks, and now VRespawn is going to have to reset.
Yeah, we see Alpha Derezz here on the upper end with the points at 37% before it's going to get contested. And
Oh,
we
the
see
boost
Vex and
comes
Lev
in.
just pushing straight in.
A really aggressive boost for VRespawn takes out Fuz and Whirl, and now Coda on the back end here, just running, trying to stall out the point. Hopefully his teammates will respond, although Duel gets taken out, and now it's just Coda. He manages to get away though, and VRespawn will take the point, and now they are honing in on Coda. They want to get that stagger, and they
And
do.
They
And that's
do
a big
get it,
stagger
which was
too
really
on Alpha
bad
D.
for Coda.
Yeah.
Yeah, Coda should have either ran away. He should have run away. Honestly, he shouldn't have stayed there because he got a big pick, and now they're gonna lose a lot of percentage points if they want to
Yeah,
wait for him, and they can't.
Maybe he should
So
have
they
like, fed
to go
in a
that
little
3v4.
quicker so he could have died a little closer to his teammates.
Kaz takes out Whirl, so now it's Coda just coming back now, and now it's a 3v4
Oh, and Duel Game falling
again,
too, and a 4v2 here. It looks like it will go in VRespawn's favor, although Levity does go down. Again, if Alpha D does reset real quick here and go in, they can perhaps comp on that, but I don't think they're going to have enough time. They are taking it slow now. The 3-man stack goes in. They're leaving one behind here.
Point contested.
Not a bad idea. The other person will have time. They're just getting that space here, and it seems like there's only one on the point. So they are taking up that
Oh,
space.
Vex grabs Fuz.
Oh,
Vid does accidentally kill himself though,
Point
but Kaz does
contested.
takes Coda down. So right now it's a 2-on-3 if his other teammate, if Fuz's teammates can get in. And looks like both Novas are overheated, and Levity kills himself by accident, but Kaz takes out Whirl anyway.
Point contested.
Again, looks like they're feeding it on a mountain of their own corpses, and Alpha Derezz is barely able just to. Oh, he bounced out of debt and accidentally hit the other guy he wasn't aiming at.
Contested.
yeah, a lot of staggering coming here at the end for Alpha Derezz, but it is 88% already to VRespawn, so it's already in risky territory. Alpha's got to make sure they're on the point, stalling and denying them that percentage. Alpha
And
Derezz
they're unable
now
to do it. with,
going in one by
VRespawn
one.
is
It doesn't
able
look like they're going to have
yeah.
enough time to get in there, and they get
Nope.
killed. And that is the first map going to VRespawn.
Yeah, Alpha Derezz got themselves staggered a whole lot. Coda Sleuth didn't run away nearly as much as he should have. Like when he was on his own, he just didn't flee. Although Alpha Derezz did what they ran. All 4 of them ran off the point to get 1 kill, and they fell back to the point, and that was super important. That's where they got a majority of their points from, was for staggering that person, and they just continued on. And then unfortunately in the attacks they just staggered in a bit too much, and yes, they got themselves staggered later on. So can we pull the stats page up real quick?
Sure.
So it looks like they
Oh.
dropped out of the lobby, unfortunately, before we were able to take a look at the stats page.
All right, so we'll
Alright,
be
we're
right
not gonna
back
get
after
long.
a short message from our sponsors.
Alright guys, now is the time to trash talk.
This is Pitt, and he takes creating lenses pretty seriously. That's no surprise, because he has been creating innovative lenses and coatings for the German market since 10 years in his laboratory he started back in 2004.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, to our second map. We will be playing on Fission. What do we have to expect here, Robo?
Well, like I said, like on attack side, which VRespawn is sitting on attack side, starting here now. But this first point, efficient being the first payload, they have to get a defender pick really quickly. And VRespawn showed they're pretty good at being really aggressive and pretty good at getting those initial picks. So I expect that Alpha Derezz are gonna have to play a bit more carefully than usual against other teams, because like VRespawn is one of the most aggressive teams in the league. They press W hard and they know when to do it. So it'll be fun to see how this is going to go. Like I said before, both teams are giants in the realm of ECFL, so it'll be curious to see how this is going to go. I guess like with Meteor not being as broken anymore, the suppression factor on the payload is decreased dramatically. There's other ways to get around that, and we've seen both teams have good Nova stacks. Fuse and Whirl are great at what they do, and Vex and Levity are also good at what they do too. So I think in terms of mechanical skill, both teams are more or less evenly matched. Right now, I think it's mostly about how the teams strategize.
Yeah, that's definitely good. I totally agree. We definitely see a lot of aggression out of VRespawn, and that's exactly what they need, especially on a payload map. If you are the attacking team, which VRespawn are, and you get that first pick early, that defending team is going to take a long time for them to come back from the spawn, and you can really capitalize on that, especially with the really short respawn times on offense. So even if you die, you get right back, although if you get a pick, they do not get right back. So you can use that to your advantage, turn up the heat on the defending team, and use all that space to push the payload. And that's what they'll need. It
sounded
looks
like
like
we had
though,
a
a
crash
crash here.
here.
Oh boy, I heard that too.
Coming from
Let's see who
Whirl.
we lost. Oh, that's Whirl. Hopefully they get him back in time. VRespawn already readied up, although not yet from Alpha, so they do have the time to get him back in here. Hopefully we won't have any issues. And
Yeah,
he
as
will
soon
be
as
able to
they get
rejoin.
back, we'll tell them to go.
Yep.
But so this is again like VRespawn loves this map as well. Some of their favorite maps are Surge in this one, or not. Sorry, not Surge. Combustion. They love Combustion in this one. So I like VRespawn has a lot of strategies in this map, and they have like a ton of different ideas of how to play it, and they're really good at implementing them. And they're also really good at adapting on the fly. So we'll see how quickly they come to terms with what Alpha Derezz is doing, and how they just deal with it. We see Vidman on Comet, Insta Heal, and Threat Scan, whereas we've got Vex, Det, Nova Heal, Levity with the same, and Kaz with Comet, Insta Heal, and Heal. So he's probably going to play a bit more forward with his Nova buddies, and he's probably going to support them from close range where Vidman sits on the payload and progresses forward while his friends make space. And we see World coming back.
Oh,
so
he made it back. Great. So the match should be starting soon. For those of you tuning in for the first time, this is a payload map. Last time we saw a capture point map. This time, both teams will have a chance to push the payload. On this specific map, they will have to push it all the way down through this large open space here around this short bend to the first checkpoint. If they can do that, they will unlock the second checkpoint where they have to bring it down here through this tunnel. And then the third checkpoint will unlock through those doors.
They get 2 minutes for each checkpoint. Yeah, Rad, they still are running Meteor even after the nerf because it still is a good CC weapon at the end of the day. It's still effective, and it still is a good support weapon. It's just not as broken as it was before.
Yeah, you definitely have to play it differently. You can no longer just run in and gun with that Terminator carry weapon anymore. You do have to play a little further back and support your teammates. It's more of a CC support weapon at this point, and people have to adapt to that. See how it fits out in the meta here. But I do definitely think it has its place.
Yeah, it's just not. It may not be an auto pick anymore though, but it definitely still is viable, unlike Pulsar.
Yeah, Pulsar.
Well, at least what Pulsar was. We'll have yet to see if Pulsar is actually good in the meta. However, continuing on the payload, every checkpoint they get 2 extra minutes. They start with 3, and if they finish the round, they get all the way to the end. The other team has to make it all the way to the end as well.
Oh, we finally get our ready from Alpha D here. So the match will be starting soon. Again, neither of these teams have lost a match yet in the ECFL. So this match will, or maybe even this map, if VRespawn wins, might decide it all.
Take your defensive
now we get to see which of the Alpha Derezz boys are the best at Flamingo racing.
This
it looks like we can hear them yelling at each other.
The great Flamingo race. Oh,
two of them get away ahead of the
pack. Whirl in the lead here. He's going. There's no contestation here. Oh, the boost. They don't boost, and it looks like Whirl will hit it. The most exciting part of the game.
Wild. Yeah. So we'll see Alpha Derezz possibly taking false positions here because the attacking team can see where the defending team are on the map up until they leave the war room. So we may see a last second rotate here, but we're unsure for right now. We can see Coda hearing Coda in open comms right now.
So we have Alpha D over there sitting in the back as Vidman goes onto the payload early, pushing it while the team, they snap out right away, all the way to the back. They get that pick on Foos and another on Coda. That is exactly what they needed. A fantastic approach so far here from VRespawn as they continue the aggression here as they that's just Vex here going after. Is that Duel? Yeah, as he takes Duel down too, and wow, it looks like Whirl will fall here too, and so far a full wipe from VRespawn.
Yeah, Alpha Derezz stayed really close together there, and with the threat scan, VRespawn went, okay, we'll just dump on you, and they just got dunked on, and that was it. And then Whirl and Duel, the last 2 guys of their team, they split up and couldn't assist each other. Duel was just trying to dodge Vex for a while, and then Whirl was trying to touch the payload, but he just couldn't get a chance to. And we're seeing pretty much a clean sweep here from the checkpoint, from the start to the checkpoint.
Yeah, we saw those respawns come in and try and stall at the payload here, but they were definitely handled quickly, and VRespawn pushes along the payload and takes that first checkpoint. They push up into the tunnel here, but Levity does go down early. Kaz gets a pick on Whirl though with the Comet. A nice pick, and it will slow things down a bit here.
Yeah, right now Alpha Derezz is just 2 on, they're outnumbered here, and Coda's pushing a little bit too much W here. It looks like he's getting a little bit aggressive, and he just got punished for it, and Duel's teammates also gonna get punished for it as well. So now we're going to see the rest of VRespawn push up into that room, and Alpha Derezz isn't really going to be able to contest too much.
We have Lefty pushing up here, trying to get an early jump on the respawns here, the reinforcements, as they stack up. in good positioning. It doesn't look like they know where he is right now. That's a threat scanner from VRespawn, although not one from Alpha D, so they still don't know he's there. They fly right by him. He's still there from behind. He manages to get a pick.
Yeah, Alpha Derezz isn't actually running any threat scans right now. They're only running long hails, repair matrices, and it doesn't seem to be really working out so well for them because they don't have any idea where the attackers are.
Yep, having
and
a
then
threat
again,
scanner
pretty
is
short.
definitely important.
And we see Alpha VRespawn take that point pretty convincingly and pretty solid. They got Alpha Derezz staggered themselves in pairs too much, and they just couldn't contest very quickly, and they got crushed for that.
Yep, we have Alpha D setting up here. Oh, Coda goes down early though in the fight, and it looks like a 4v3 coming into Alpha D here as Fooz goes down too. Kaznaz though taken down by Dual Game, a nice pick. Although VRespawn here showing even more aggression, they're just pushing up onto the hill. Levity takes down Dual Game, a nice pick. And VRespawn still pushing that payload though, no contesting going on from Alpha D. And it's already into the tunnels here as finally they catch on and start firing away. Although VRespawn taking up so much space, they're already at the top of the hill. So Alpha D really with nowhere to go. Vex takes down Whirl and Fooz. So now only two members left from Alpha D. Wow, a great flank from Vex. Off camera there.
Yeah, VRespawn is able to get away with all these flanks because Alpha Derezz just isn't running any threat scans at all, and they're unable to really find those solo members with threat scans and then just crush them from behind. So right now they're just focusing on brute force, and it just isn't working for them right now.
Payload contested. Payload mobilized.
Yeah, this might be it.
That was sad.
Yeah, with around 4 minutes, 4 minutes and 5 seconds or so, VRespawn is going to take this, push it all the way to the first round. I think one of the major weaknesses of Alpha Derezz here was that they didn't have any threat scans. Like, there's been a couple of occasions in the ESL season and in ECFL where a good threat scan literally wins you the match.
Yep.
And the teams have switched, so the overlays will need to change as well.
Yep, I'm on it. Boom.
So, Alpha, we can see actually, I wonder if Alpha Derezz is going to switch to a threat scan here as well. We still see Kaz actually switching off to his Insta-Heal to Arc Mine. He's been known to use it before. It's a good zoning ordinance.
Oh, and the race is on again.
It's
VRespawn will hit there first. It looks like number 99 way in the lead here. And Levity is our winner.
And he's hyped about winning the Great Flamingo race, beating the rest of his team. It looks like Vex was in last place.
Vex is a failure. That's what he said,
yes.
not me.
Poor Vex in last place.
Poor
here.
Vex.
Losing the only fight that really matters.
True. The actual tradition is the last member of the Great Flamingo race has to buy the round buys the first round.
That is true.
6.
So we're gonna see Alpha Derezz coming out here in just a few short seconds, and we're still seeing no threat scan coming out from them right now, which again
So
could
they
be
are
a major
going in
failing.
blind.
Payload mobilized.
Yeah. Threat scan attacking is super necessary because this way they can find hiding solo members. Right now, they may only know he's there because of the war room. They have no updated information. Information wins wars, and right now they don't have any of it.
Alpha D though gets that early pick on Vex,
kill.
and they move on to the rest of the team. A 3v3 here on this big structure, and Coda goes down. Although so does Fooz and Whirl. So a good hold so far from VRespawn. They can go for this payload now, which is what they'll be looking to do. Yep, they go right after the payload and chase away Duel, who manages to get away back to his team. So Alpha D will be resetting now. Oh, but Duel does go down though. That is a big stagger in a 4v3 now as Vex is already back. And
we're seeing another big stagger coming from Vex. It looks like they couldn't really take advantage of the man advantage they had. They got that pick early on Levity, I think it was, and they just couldn't make it happen. They got staggered a bit too much, and they didn't push enough W on solo member. Like, I think it was Vex was alone on elbow back there on that L box up in front, and they just didn't know he was there either because of lack of threat scan or they weren't looking at the war room. But again, like, their lack of positional information from the threat scan is really hurting them here.
yep. They managed to take down Vex late in the fight there, but they were already taking down so much damage they had to retreat back into the room, and Vex is already back now, so they weren't able to capitalize on that pick. So Kaznaz going down now. Yeah, that is a big pick for them. They do have to put a man on the payload here because they are getting no distance, even though they are getting these picks. And now Coda just here on his own. Again, the payload's still not moving, and he will get trapped out, and Alpha D will have another reset, but not after this stagger.
Oh, it's gonna be a crazy stagger. You can see they're just they're not really trying to kill him.
Waiting, yep.
They knew he was uncritical, and they were waiting for him. They're
Alpha
gonna
D's
lose
gonna have
like
to go in
another
without
10
him.
seconds. Yeah, right now we see Alpha Derezz is around 3 minutes behind the time that VRespawn completed this checkpoint with, and they're still not even done. Just trying to get this last little stretch with just under a minute. We'll see if they're able to do it. We do see VRespawn is starting to jump on this payload.
Yeah,
a bit
putting
more.
a lot of
It's
pressure on the
collapsing
payload
out.
here, just not allowing Alpha D to get anything. But Alpha D fighting back here. They managed to get a couple picks.
Payload returning.
Although we're all going down now, and it might be it. There's a 1v1 going down here between Coda and
Oh,
Vex.
2v1.
Although Duel
He's
hops
gonna
in
come
and
up.
helps him finish the battle, although Coda goes down. And again, no one on the payload here, so a lot of fighting, but not a lot of
Seconds
pushing.
remaining.
Foo's going into the
That
fight
doesn't-
as well, although still no one on this payload here. 25 seconds left. The stun goes off.
The Arcmine gets one, and then Levity's gonna take Duel and Fooz out. So unfortunately, it looks like Alpha Derezz is in the short end of the stick here. If they try and pull this off, it's gonna be real shifty here. It's on sketchy ground with that Arcmine right there, and is instantly destroyed. So they're able to get the Arcmine off
Oh,
the payload.
Kaz is so low here on this
just
left
in
too,
time.
but they are not capitalizing that. Finally are on the payload though. Kaz will have to go in. He's low health though, so he does die, and Alpha D somehow
Wow,
manages
Duel
to
Game
pull it
takes two.
off. Duel Game with a nice double kill manages to
Yeah,
push
Duel
it the rest
takes
of the way.
2 out to take that checkpoint on overtime. They only got 2 minutes to push this last little section. If they can get this pretty quickly, they'll have some more time to try and push it up to the hill. We
Alpha
see
D
Duel
showing
Game
some
pushing
more
a lot of
aggression
W
here
up
early,
there,
but
and
they
he's just
do
gonna
get punished
crushed.
for it as they go down one by one, and now Fooz will fall, but not before taking out Kaz. To slow VRespawn down a little bit. Vex goes down low too, so he will have to back off before he
Almost
re-engages.
gets down.
So the offense for Alpha D will have some time to push in before VRespawn is able to fully reset.
And again, we see the lack of threat scan here as hurting Alpha D. They have no idea where VRespawn members are hiding. They could be hiding around any corner in this room. There's a lot of corners to hide from where VRespawn knows every movement of all of Alpha Derezz.
Yep, Alpha D taking a lot of space though. And VRespawn finally snaps out, manages to take down Whirl and Fooz. Vidman going down, and Coda going down, but it does look like Alpha D. Oh, the nice insta-heal keeps him in the fight. Duel popping off here on the payload, but eventually gets taken down. So good hold
I
from
think
Alpha
that may have been a
Derezz.
poor insta-heal
I mean,
on his part, because he didn't get any distance off of it, and he could have used it for his team later in the fight. Again, we're hearing an Arcmine being placed somewhere. I don't think the spectator cam can show us quite where it is. Possibly in the payload itself. We'll see when Alpha Derezz runs straight into it,
Oh,
right there,
and
up
it
top,
goes off.
above it, and it gets
Doesn't
no
get
one, I
anyone.
believe.
Payload mobilized.
We're seeing a big fight over here away from the payload, which is Alpha Derezz. This is actually doing really well from Alpha Derezz. They're just trying to keep it away from the payload while they push it.
Yep,
They're able to
and
do
they
it to
are
a
pushing it.
small degree.
Here's
We're
one
hearing
will have to
another
go
arc,
there.
and they do get the payload.
A scrappy but effective push from Alpha Derezz, and finally the stun goes off. And stun locking the entire
All
team.
3 of them.
Stun actually can change from one person to another, for those of you who did not know, so that is why we saw a full team stun there. Although no
Only 3 of them,
DPS to
yeah.
capitalize on it. Oh, is that just
What a
three?
shame. About 10 seconds too late for the Arcmine to go off.
Yeah.
We're hearing some audio glitches come from the team, and we're seeing Levity really low. And Duel's again gonna take Vex and Levity by himself. So we're seeing Fooz here on his own, pushing up the payload.
Keep going, keep going.
Duel Game being super aggressive here, forcing the rest of VRespawn to run away though, as the rest of the team finally comes in. Oh, a nice insta-heal too. And Alpha Derezz coming out strong
Cleaning
on
it
this
up.
point.
We're seeing 3 of
another late
VRespawn
line
members
here.
going down, but
Vex
Vex
on his
comes in
own
like a
here.
dagger from the
Alpha D
side.
closing in.
Mobilized.
And Vex going down, but does take out Fooz. So there will be 3 people from Alpha Derezz on the payload here, while 3 members of VRespawn come out of spawn.
yeah, I think right there again was showing the other weakness of not having any threat scan. If they had a threat scan, they could have seen that coming and maybe have taken him out before he actually got to payload. That being said, though, the heals are definitely coming in clutch right now. Duel again is taking another 2 with him, Vid and Kaz. We're seeing Vex go down, and we're gonna see with 2 minutes and 24 seconds, VRespawn pushing it and Alpha Derezz is pushing it and completing it. I believe VRespawn had around 4 minutes when they completed it.
Yeah,
so
that was
there's a
great.
massive
I
time
mean,
differential here.
Looking at that first point, it looked like VRespawn had it, but then Alpha D really turning on the heat and showing that aggression towards the end of the second point and all the way through that third point. A really great showing from them.
Yeah, Duel is obviously showing his skill with every weapon. He's not only like a talented sniper and meteor player, but he's really showing his stuff as also an amazing Nova player.
Yeah.
In multiple circumstances, he's taking down 2 to push a payload like 10 more meters, or winning a fight, or he's been doing really well. And
Yeah,
now we're
a
seeing
jack of all
Alpha
trades,
Derezz back on
master of
blue.
all of them too.
We may need to switch the overlays since the teams are switching once again.
Oh, yeah,
And it looks
those
like our
back.
spectator cam is caught outside.
Yeah, we got locked out. All right,
We're
so
seeing a Great Flamingo race once again for the 3rd time, and the 21's gonna win. It's Whirl winning again.
I always lose even when I try. So if I don't try, I try
You hear Coda being sad about
Defeating.
losing all the time.
10, 9, 8, 7.
It looks like we're seeing some different positioning coming from Alpha Derezz.
All right,
It looks
got
like
the
they decided that
reset.
stacking up in a triple stack wasn't so good last time. And we may need to move the spectator cam over there. Again, we're seeing a lot of aggression coming out from VRespawn. They're getting a debt ready, and a big debt
the
goes
deck comes in from Alpha D,
we're seeing
although
a
not able to
Pulsar
get
on
enough
Coda's
damage.
side. We saw Coda Sleuth switching off from Meteor to a Pulsar, and unfortunately, it looks like all of Alpha D members are going to go down. Oh, Whirl takes, that's 2 VRespawn members down. Foo's taking 1 before getting traded out by Lev, and Whirl taking Lev out. Unfortunately, he's on his own, and it's unsure how much he's really going to be able to get done by himself here.
Yeah, so a great first
Oh, his
push
teammates
here from
are gonna come-
VRespawn. The teammates do come in, although VRespawn right on top of them, and take down Whirl, Foos, and it looks like Duel's low here, but he does manage to take out Kaz. Duel playing exceptionally well this game, and a 1v1 going down here. Duel takes out another, and he's still alive here. He's healing up. Can he hero this out? He's chasing
may
VRespawn
be
off the
able-
payload. He
He takes
takes
a
out
third!
Vex. What am I watching right here? This is insanity. And somehow the
somehow it
payload
looks
goes
like
in.
Alpha
I
D
don't
accidentally
know how they
C9'd
snuck that one in there. But luckily for them, because Duel just would have done crazy things. But it looks like VRespawn will have that first checkpoint. And
They do not get any more time since these are the following rounds. They only get additional time in the first 2 rounds. So right now, all they've got is all they've got, and they'll just keep going through until they run out of time. So they got 3 more minutes to push us all the way. Honestly, I think VRespawn could push this all the way to the end and complete it a 2nd time.
yeah, they do have a lot of time in the bank here. Coda Sleuth will go down early in the fight here, and Duel Games to follow. Kaz goes down, but the payload is still chugging along.
Payload mobilized.
Whirl going down low here, and he will fall. So VRespawn, again, with 3 people on the point, they will push it quite fast. And I don't know if Alpha D is going to have enough time. They won't. And
No, they
a
won't have enough
stagger
time to
here,
get
too,
hit.
onto Coda. And also onto Duel, as they will go down. And the 3rd point opens up. And so far, a lot of time still for VRespawn. We will see how
2
far they
minutes
can
and
push
20
it.
seconds or so. And like I said, VRespawn does actually have enough time here to push it all the way to the end again. So we will see if they're able to do that. If they do, then Alpha Derezz is again on the short end of the stick here because all they have
Alpha D going
around
all
a
the
minute.
way out, right into VRespawn, and the deaths come out. Lots of explosions and trading, but it looks like it's still even actually. Oh, but now VRespawn throws it into their favor with a couple of picks on Coda and Foos, and they will throw it in their favor again. But the payload, I don't even think it stopped moving. It's just been moving this
No,
whole
it
time.
hasn't stopped moving once.
Wow, so
They
a
just
ton
had
of
Vidman on
progress
it the
here
whole
for
time.
VRespawn. This is exactly what they wanted, honestly. And the payload is already over
VRespawn
the hill.
Yeah, over a minute and a half so far. VRespawn still has tons of time to do it, even if they lose this fight. And we see a 2-on-2 right now with an Arc Mine. Oh, an Arc Mine coming out from Alpha Derezz. Looks like Duel Games running it with his Nova. And he's unable to finish off Vex despite getting another kill. So
So Vex on the payload, the lone survivor. Although he's being flanked here from behind and taken out by Whirl as the payload stops in his tracks, but not far from the destination. VRespawn, the rest of the team is in now, and they will slow down a little bit on this attack.
seeing a
hopefully
deck
wait
come
for
out. They
Vex to
didn't
come
get
in.
any value out of that, unfortunately.
Yep.
More
Alpha D
deaths
needs to
come
put the
out.
pressure on right now before Vex gets back. It's a 4v3. If they press W right now, they will have the man advantage. Although
Oh,
Vex
before
already
he's
back.
saying that, yeah, Coda Sleuth gets dropped. Vidman, both Whirl and Foos do take out 2 themselves.
Returning.
Though it looks like this is going to be about the end right here, and it looks like Alpha Derezz is probably going to push this in right now.
Yep, it looks like Alpha D was a little too passive there. There was a time
Yeah,
for the
for sure.
aggression, and that was it.
Yeah, they had all 4 of them, and then they just killed Vex. They should have gone, okay, let's press W.
Yep.
I think what happened is Coda Sleuth was trying to flank around, and he got caught out by Kaz, I think, and he got dropped. We did see Alpha Derezz running a threat scan in this case, and also we see the team switching once again.
Yeah. So many
Coda Sleuth
openings.
switched off Pulsar back to Meteor pretty quickly, so... Yeah, the Pulsar didn't stay around for a while, Rad. I don't think
Your
VRespawn
defensive
too scared to run
positions.
Pulsar. I just don't think the DPS really helped them that much here, because like the chip damage, like the 10 or 15, like even like the 14 you get from a single headshot just isn't nearly as much as you could get from even like just a leg splash from a meteor. So we'll see how far they're able to go. Like Alpha Derezz has to push it all the way to the end in order to even have a chance of winning this. So we'll see if they're able to do it. Before it was on really shaky ground before, and they got the first checkpoint with just overtime, and they got 2 extra minutes to continue to push it through. But I don't know. They don't get overtime extra time anymore.
Phil, do you really
So
want
what
to do
they've got
that?
is what they've got, and I don't know if they have enough time in the bank to
Yep,
push
just
it all the way to the end.
124 here. We did see a couple of crazy overtime pushes in the past in the Flamingo League, so it is possible. Anything is possible, right? But so far, VRespawn with a big advantage here and a lot of distance. They put Dual Game on the point by himself. They still haven't boosted out, playing it a little safe here. Although Dual Game getting chipped down here by the Meteor.
It's possible
for
they're
his
waiting to
life
bait
here.
him out. That's what I think they're doing. So I think they're
And
they're
finally,
waiting for
Dual
Duel
goes
to get
down.
dunked on, and unfortunately he does, and Alpha Derezz is a bit too slow to respond.
Yeah, again, a way too passive attack here from Alpha D. I don't really understand it. They managed to get a pick on Kaz and on Vex though,
They get
so it
2
does seem to
picks
be working.
actually. Oh, they are gonna lose 1 with Levity taking out Foods in a floating Nova battle there. So it looks like, well, it was kind of a messy strategy. It really worked out pretty well for them. They got Alpha Derezz got a couple picks pretty quickly. That being said, though, Alpha Derezz only has 30 seconds to push it all the way to the end, and they don't
They
get any
that first
additional
point
time.
without any congestion there at the end too. So far making some pretty good progress, right? They do push ahead.
Yeah,
They finally get that pick on Vex in the back.
we actually see a Dual Game killing 3 with a Meteor. Vidman Kaz and killing Vex who tried to run away. We see Levity taking Whirl, but Foo's refragging that out. So now we see 2 Alpha Derezz members sitting in this room.
Yep,
We do
taking up
see
a lot of
Foos
space. Although,
possibly having a
Vidman with a
headset
nice
crash.
pick on Foos here. That's not going to be good for Alpha D on the attack. If VRespawn capitalizes on this and makes a move on the payload. Oh, they do from behind. The flanks come in. They manage to get the picks. Kaz just chilling on the payload though, taking up that space. He goes down, although 2 members still there, babysitting the payload. Alpha D, they do not make it there in time.
Wait, you were on that, dude.
Yeah, it seemed like it was a close call there, but VRespawn will win.
However,
this
the game
match.
decides people touching the payload apparently was not enough.
Yeah.
Sat on it.
And congratulations
So that
to
was a-
VRespawn.
Yeah, congratulations to VRespawn winning the game 2-0 in a pretty convincing and short fashion. A game only lasting around 40 minutes, I believe, 30 or 40 minutes. So, I think one of the issues Alpha Derezz had is they just didn't play threat scan for like the first half of this payload, and it really bit them in the butt a little bit here. They only really started switching it to later on in the game, and at that point, it just wasn't really enough to. They already lost too much time from other places, so
Yep.
they weren't able to push it nearly as far with only their minute 27 that they had to start with.
Definitely. Also, a lot of times they got staggered at the end, and it took them for a while to reset and get back in, and they had to push in without that last person, and that definitely hurt them too. But a great play all around from both teams, and especially from VRespawn. Congratulations to them for taking it. Thanks to everyone for tuning in, and a big shout out to our sponsors. We will see you next time.
Don't worry, it's Tweedledee and Tweedledum, the world's best casters.
Signing out.
off.